Hey, what's up, guys? So, not gonna be doing a whole lot tonight. Some people were just saying should go live again. I've got some stuff going on later on this evening, and got to do a little bit of work. Figured I might as well hang out with some people while I'm doing it here. Hey, buddy. Night Dog is back. Good to see you guys. McD, Entropy, Plague God Vicious, I'm username. Zeph, what's up, man? Josh, yes, everybody, what's going on? What's going on? So, what I'm doing right now, gonna have to make a few changes for the PAX poster for Twitter. So, like I said, not doing a whole lot tonight. Just mostly just hanging out, doing some work, a little bit of stuff here and there. Though I can't remember where I put the PAX folder. Oh, there it is. Okay. So, had a few changes recently. Gonna be changing out this guy. Unfortunately, looks like Nefarious TV, bless his heart, he's not going to be able to make it to PAX. Going to be changing out Nexpo's stuff with his new logo. Which one's this one? I don't know what that is. So let me grab Malicious Mind. What's up, man? Waiting for the semester to start, Zeph. Okay, man. You guys can hear me okay, right? Audio's sounding all right? Let's go ahead and select all of that. And I'm going to drag that over here. Hey, Leo. You be good, buddy. You know what I need to do? I need... Stop. I know you want to be pet. Right now I got stuff to do, buddy. I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah, so I've got a new logo. Nexpo's got a new logo. A lot of rebranding going on in this community right now. Trying to get it in line here. Boy, it is storming outside. Yeah, resolution's not that great, but whatever. It's just going on Twitter. And let me get rid of Nexpo's old logo. He just emailed me his new one. So let me open up my emails here. It is a doggo. You like the new logo, Zeph? Thanks, man. I'm pretty happy with it myself, actually. Like, it's weird because like when I first launched NightDocs, the branding was thrown together pretty quick. It's not that I didn't put any thought into it. It's just, you know, it was kind of just the first draft, really. It was just literally just words in Futura font and called it a day, and I've had a little bit of time to think about what I really wanted it to be like, so changed things up a little bit. Yeah, Barely Sociable might not be doing any rebranding anytime soon anyway. By his own admission, he says, branding and stuff like that is not his, or specifically graphic design is not his strength, from what he says, from what he told me anyway. I think he does a great job, but where is... There it is. Trying to find Nexpo's new logo that he emailed me. Found it. So let's go ahead and open that back up in the old Photoshop. All right, let's go ahead and add a background to that. Whoa, what happened? There we go. I hit a wrong button. Let's just make that black. I'm sure black is probably what he's going for there. Let's go ahead and PNG that. Flatten, select all, Control C. Geez, that is a huge image. I don't even know where, jeez. This is huge. Bruh. Trying to kill me? Ryan tends to go big. He doesn't do anything halfway. Let's see here. So you'll see this out on Twitter here in a second, most likely. Is that good enough? No, it's not good enough. There we go. Better. How's that look, guys? Wish I knew what to do with this blank space where Neff used to be. Unfortunately, Neff got... hey, Blue. Looks like Neff got... had some life stuff happen, and he's not going to be able to make it to PAX, unfortunately. It really sucks. We're all really, really bummed about it. Yeah, this is Photoshop. Hi, Linda. Yeah, AJ, this is Photoshop I'm using. Yeah, malicious. I'm doing. A whole bunch of us are going to PAX, so you can see on this little poster I'm making here. We got Nexpo, Barely Sociable, some ordinary gamers. So Muda is going to be there. Myself, Mama Max, and Blame It on Jorge is going to be there. I'm really excited to meet Jorge. It's really crazy because and I always feel bad because there's so many just amazing creators out there that I've just now started getting exposed to that I really didn't know about at all before I got into this community. And so I've had a lot of, introductions to new people that I'm just like, how on earth did I not know your content already? Blame It on Jorge is one of them. He's amazing. He's got some really good stuff. You guys should really check him out. He's got one of his more recent videos just was amazing. It was about this lost cartoon short in the middle of a Sesame Street episode called Cracks. And it's about the whole journey of this guy who was just remembering it, and he wasn't sure if this was some sort of just Mandela effect thing or whatever, but he seemed to be the only one that remembered it. And then all of a sudden he started hearing from other people as well that remembered it, and they're like, yeah, I remember this this Cracks thing. And so it started this kind of underground movement of people trying to locate this long lost cartoon. It was really kind of spooky and creepy. And it anyway, they found it, and Blame It on Jorge did a whole little mini documentary on it. What am I trying to do here? I'm like talking and trying to do this at the same time, and I'm not very good at multitasking here. Oh, that's right. I need to get on Twitter. I need to DM this to the guys, especially Nexpo. Nexpo's probably going to tweet it out on his Twitter handle here in a second, just for reach, because I don't have a whole lot of followers myself on Twitter. All right. And after I do this, I'm going to start looking around for a little plugin that I can use with OBS where I can just get the chat window to pop up on the screen so that I can see it, because I'm having a tough time navigating as I would on my computer while keeping up with chat. And in just a second here, if you guys want to hang out for a little bit, I'm going to be recording some vocals for Swamp Dweller. He sent me some stuff to record for him. All right, let me text Nexpo again here. Okay, so got that sent away. Cracks, that's right. In fact, you know what? I'm gonna link Cracks in the chat. You really should check it out. I was really genuinely blown away by how good this video was. Such a good little mini documentary. He also, what's crazy is when you start making YouTube videos, you start watching other people's content in a different way than you did before. Like, I was talking to Barely Sociable and Nexpo and a couple other people the other day, and we were talking about like the kind of stuff we actually watch now, and it's like, you know, we're looking at, you know, what's the editing they're doing, you know. Let's see here. Blame It on Jorge. It's definitely a good one for you guys to check out here. Oh, it was right there. But let me go ahead and open this up here.
In 2008, a man named John Armin posted about a frightening short he saw on Sesame Street as a child in the 1970s. The following is his description. It begins with a little girl with frizzy hair.
I want to say she's a black girl. She's sitting on her bed in a horrible old house. The cartoon's in black and white. Again, I think. As she starts to look closely at the cracks in her wall, she makes out shapes. In one of these, a camel comes to life, and it's very nice. She climbs aboard, and this camel takes her for a ride, meeting different crack animals.
Am I going to do anything for 10K? I don't know. I honestly don't know. 10K was kind of like the, even just a few weeks ago, I was at about, 3,100 people on this channel. And I saw a number like 10K is like, that would be really cool to hit in 6 months, something like that. We'll see. I mean, it seems to be happening a lot sooner than I was anticipating, that's for sure. Hey guys, really happy to have you guys here just to hang out. For everybody tuning in, this is, I've just got a couple of things that I'm working on right now. Figured it might be kind of fun to just, do what I was already doing live and have some people to hang out with while I was doing it. So you guys are more than welcome to just kind of observe and just chill and talk amongst yourselves and just, hang out, see what goes on behind the scenes here. This is actually leftover stuff from last night's stream. I haven't even been on my computer since last night's stream. Just went to bed, woke up, got to work. I just got out of the shower, about to go out for drinks in a little bit with a few people. I think Nexpo wanted to go out. He said he was going to text me later on. I haven't gotten back. He hasn't gotten back to me though, so not sure if that's still happening or not. It's okay. I would be fine with just hanging out at home anyway too, so I'm good with whatever. Let's see here. What do you got? Let's see here. Just sent you the PAX poster in PAX DMs. Just streaming now, working on a few things. Sorry about that. Just had to send a quick text. All right. So let me do this. I am going to. Hi, Loey. You think I'm always live? Last night I was live, and tonight I don't really do a lot of live streams. I might start doing them a little bit more. It seems to be kind of the hot new thing to do. But really, I mean, I think I've got a total of like maybe 5 live streams in my library total. Let me see here. Let's see here. OBS chat overlay. So I'm gonna look for a little overlay to add onto my screen here. If Nexpo hasn't posted that already, Knight just leaked Nexpo merch. Nexpo's already posted the new merch. Yeah, you can. That's his new logo. It's Streamlabs OBS. Okay, I'll look that up. Thanks, Liam. OBS chat overlay. Oh, Streamlabs is the other platform that's like kind of the competitor to OBS, isn't it? Oh no, it looks like it's actually a whole thing here. Okay, so let me find out how to. Okay, here it is. Got the download link. Cool. An overlay is 206 megabytes, huh? I don't understand why it's that. I don't understand why it's that that large. I mean, no problem. Boy, I got a lot of. It's popped up 2 days in a row for me, so it's always king of live streaming. No, thank you, Loey. I'm just kind of experimenting around with live streaming right now. I've got a few ideas cooking up here for some pretty fun stuff to do on live streams. We already mentioned yesterday we're gonna hold a. We might do it tomorrow. We'll see. Stay tuned. We might do a live stream party where everybody grabs a 6-pack. I'll bring a few people in voice chat, and we'll just kind of hang out and shoot it and just hang out for a little bit. Just bring people in voice chat on like a rotating basis or something like that. Just found out. What? Nexpo saying there's a tornado inbound here. Might drink. Stream later. Cool. All right. What's Dudley saying here? Okay. Let me go ahead and get this installed. If it will. I hit the button. There we go. I hope I'm not accidentally installing it twice. Phone is lighting up tonight. I'm a lot more. Seems like I'm a little more popular than I usually am. Okay, let's check this out. Let's get this all set up here. Dad's Court is a cult. This does not look like what I need it to be. Hey, Eleanor, how are you? Hey, Zeph, asking if I'm going to do any of the patron-only live streams. I might do a patron-only live stream one of these days. We'll see. I've done a few patron-only vlogs. Those are the ones that I've really done. I haven't done any patron-only live streams, though. YouTube. I should probably switch this out a little bit while I'm signing into stuff, I guess. Let's see. Hi, Sanguine. Nice to see you. Thanks for stopping by, and I really appreciate the super chat. That's really nice of you. It's all water under the bridge. Let's see here. So import from, I'm not sure which one I'm supposed to go with here. So start fresh or import from OBS. Probably import from OBS. That's probably what I want to do. Although this might mean I have to restart the stream. So I might just install it for now, and then you'll just see it later next time. Oh man, which profile do I want to import? I don't know what these are. I don't believe I've set these up here. Let me look at OBS here. I don't know if I've got... Do I even have like an actual profile on this thing? I don't think I do. I thought of a fun little thing we can do here in a second once I'm done recording some audio for Swamp Dweller. I thought of a fun little thing we can do. I don't know which one of these I should do. So I'm just going to do... I'm going to do this temp one here just to get something in there. Cool. All right. Oh man, I wonder if this... Am I still streaming? Tell me if you guys can still see what's going on here. I'm not seeing anything in the chat saying otherwise. I just... Boy, this is a completely different... This is a completely different setup here. Might take me a little bit to get used to it. So let me do this. Let's see. How do I do just the overlay? Okay, so hi Kimberly. Good to see you. All right, so just what I'm doing right now is I'm trying to go through this little overlay here, or this the settings here, trying to find the. There we go. Okay. Got that. Got that. Is that good? What is this? Oh, okay. So let's... Is there a way to switch this onto this? I'll figure it out, guys. I will get this figured out. Let me just close that guy. So let me do this. Let me do this. Let's do this. Let's I'm going to try and add the overlay onto here if it will let me. Leo. Be good, buddy. You know, I'll mess with this another time. I'll figure it out. I'll just look up some tutorials. And honestly, I might end up having to restart the stream in order to even get it to work anyway. So I'll just try and keep an eye on chat over here. I figured it would only take a couple of moments for me to get that set up, but it's going to take a little bit longer than I initially planned. So whatever. It's all good. So what I'm going to be doing now, I'm going to be pulling up a script that Swamp Dweller sent me earlier today, and I'm going to record some dialogue for him for one of his videos. Let's see, where are you? There it is. So let me do this. Oh, my internet is being a little slow. I don't know if what that's doing to the stream or not, but looks like it's still going all right. There we go. So let me just copy all of that. I'm going to start a new Google Drive thing. So here's what I'm going to do. Start a new folder. Okay, so let me just copy what he sent me. I'm going to just reformat it a little bit for readability. What is today? Today's the 10th. Okay. All right, let me fix that. All right, I'm going to keep this brief. A few years ago, while working, I was a park ranger around Louisiana, 20 years retired now. I saw something I don't know how to explain in the woods. The thing I saw was roughly 12 feet tall and was extremely hairy. It moved quickly, too. No, it's because it chased me out of the woods one fall morning in October a few years back. I was patrolling the area and looking for anyone that might be causing Sorry guys, just letting you know I'm not really looking at the chat right now. I'm looking at the script and I'm gonna be doing some formatting here. So that's kind of the cost. You guys are more than welcome to observe, and I'll look at the chat sporadically here, but mostly going to be just working here. I know this because it chased me out of the woods one fall morning a few years back. I was patrolling the area and looking for anyone that might be causing trouble or anything that might need doing when I came across this creature. I don't quite believe my own sight at the time, but it was very much real. I'm not going to claim it was Bigfoot or anything, as I'm a pretty skeptical person, but it was big enough to be something like that. It was super aggressive, though. I showed up, saw it, and as though it could sense me, it turned and looked at me. It immediately let out this strange call. And that's when I see one of its buddies come walking from further in the woods. Again, my eyes are seeing things, but I'm thinking I have to be hallucinating. Let's make that a new paragraph there. Really should be formatting this a little bit more. Suddenly, one of them, the both of them let out an angry call, and the one I initially saw starts running right for me. Now, I'm a country boy, born and raised, and I've seen some things, comma, so I don't spook easily. Had me turning and running in terror. I didn't hesitate either as this thing let out a call. I call it a call as I can't even truly describe the sound that came from this thing, and it shook me where I ran. I was convinced at this moment I was going to die from something no one likely knows or has proof even exists. Let's change that there. Or even has proof. Or even has proof that it exists. I'm older, so I don't run the quickest, and I was convinced I'd be dead soon, but as I reached the tree line, this thing stopped. I took a break to breathe, and I looked back, and it stared, comma, and let out another call. I was convinced by this point it might still come after me, comma, but then it turned and walked off slowly into the forest. Now you gotta understand, that thing likely could have caught up to me if it wanted and probably killed me. So while aggressive, I'm not convinced it was out to kill me per se. I think it was likely just trying to say, hey, this is my territory or home. Even and get the heck out of Dodge. Okay. Or even, wait, so this is my territory or home, even. And how can we word that a little bit better so it flows a little better when you speak it out loud? I think it was likely saying, hey, this is my territory or home. And just wanted me to get the heck out of Dodge. We'll go with that. I don't rightly have a better explanation, as again, it could have easily killed me. At any rate, I thought I'd share this story with y'all, and it is used. I hope y'all know I never went back to those woods the rest of my career. I stayed right at this station, which is where I should have stayed to begin with. I'm retired now, though. I'm quite happy. Thank you for letting me share my story. Cool. I think we can do this one pretty quick. Cool. So let's go ahead and do this. Let's close out that. I'll minimize it because I'm not sure what I need to save. So let's do this. I'm just going to move some stuff around here. While I'm opening this, let me see if it's talking about some drama. Well, keep it civil. All right, so I'm gonna be hey Zachary. So what I'm doing now, that little script that I was formatting there, I'm gonna record some vocals for the YouTube channel Swamp Dweller. He's doing a few story compilations. I actually had one of my own stories that I was going to give him. I was going to narrate it and give it to him. But he never really got back to me on if he still wanted me to do that or not. So I'm not sure what's going to go on with that. So Okay, so let's do this. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to record the dialogue. I'm going to keep this brief. A few years ago, while I was working, I was a park ranger around Louisiana, 20 years, retired now. I saw something I don't know how to explain in the woods. The thing I saw was roughly 12 feet tall, and it was extremely hairy. It moved quickly, too. I know this because it chased me out of the woods one fall morning in October a few years back. I was patrolling the area and looking for anyone that might cause trouble or anything that might need doing when I came across this creature. I didn't quite believe my own sight at the time, but it was very much real. I'm not going to claim it was Bigfoot or anything, but I'm a pretty skeptical person. But it was big enough to be something like that. It was super aggressive, though. I showed up, saw it, and as though it could sense me, it turned and looked at me. It immediately let out this strange call, and that's when I see one of its buddies come walking from further in the woods. Again, my eyes are starting to see. Well, that wasn't the line. Let's do that. Let's do this. See where we're at here. I showed up, saw it, and as though it could sense me, it turned and looked at me. It immediately let out this strange call, and that's when I see one of its buddies come walking from further in the woods. Again, my eye... Okay, so that's good to cut it off right there. Again, my eyes are seeing things, but I'm thinking I have to be hallucinating. Suddenly, the both of them let out an angry call, and one of them I initially saw starts running towards me. Now, I'm a country boy born and raised, and I've seen some things, so I don't really spook easily, but this, well, it had me turning and running in terror. I didn't hesitate either as this thing let out a call. I call it a call as I can't even truly describe the sound that came from this thing. And it shook me where I ran. I was convinced at this moment I was going to die from something no one likely knows or even has proof that it even exists. So anyway, I'm older, so I don't run the quickest, and I was convinced I'd be dead soon. But as I reached the tree line, this thing stopped. I took a break to breathe and looked back, and it stared. Let out another call. I was convinced by this point it might still come after me, but then it turned and walked off slowly into the forest. Now, you gotta understand, that thing likely could have caught up to me if it wanted to and probably killed me, so while aggressive, I'm not convinced it was out to kill me per se. I think it was just likely saying, hey, this is my territory or home even. It just wanted me to get the heck out of Dodge. I don't rightly have a better explanation as, again, it could have easily killed me. At any rate, thought I'd share this story with y'all and hope it's used. I hope y'all know I've never went back to those woods the rest of my career. I stayed right at the station, which is where I should have stayed to begin with. I'm retired now. I'm quite happy. Thank you for letting me share my story. All right. How'd that sound, guys? Oh boy. I hope you guys are getting along here. Yeah, the situation Sanguine is talking about, I certainly have my opinions on it, but I'm not going to share them over live stream. I don't want any trouble, and people who know me best know I'm not looking for drama or anything. Let's see here. I just want everybody to get along. All right, let's listen to this back. I'm not sure if you guys can even hear this. Let's look at this guy here. It's the main output. I don't know what the output is on the desktop audio. It is on main output. Can you guys hear this? I'm going to keep this brief. A few years ago,
is that coming through?
I was working. I was a park ranger around Louisiana, 20 years retired now. I saw something I don't know how to explain in the woods. The thing I saw was roughly 12 feet tall, and it was extremely hairy. It moved quickly, too. I know this because it chased me out of the woods one fall morning. You think I should try it with a country accent? I'll give it a shot. It's not my natural accent. I can give it a shot. Okay, let me tell you what. Let's do this. Let's keep this as it is. I'm gonna turn these off here. I'll tell you what, guys. If you want to hang out in the chat for just a moment, I'll put on a video for you guys to check out. While I just got to take care of something really quick, and I'll be right back. I'm gonna go ahead and put on that Cracks episode for you guys. I don't think I'll get any kind of copyright strike or anything, and I'm pretty sure Blame It on Jorge is gonna be all right with it. So. So let me do this.
There's a monkey who's
go ahead and hang out and chat for a second. I'm only gonna be like a few minutes here, so I'll be right back. This is an amazing video, by the way.
In 2008, a man named John Armin posted about a frightening short he saw on Sesame Street as a child in the 1970s. The following is his description. It begins with a little girl with frizzy hair.
I want to say she's a black girl. She's sitting on her bed in a horrible old house. The cartoon's in black and white. Again, I think. As she starts to look closely at the cracks in her wall, she makes out shapes. In one of these, a camel comes to life. It's very nice. She climbs aboard, and this camel takes her for a ride, meeting different crack animals. There's a monkey who's very happy to see her and says, good day, I'm glad you came my way. She also sees a crack-formed bird, and finally, the music changes, and they meet the twisted figure. Some remember it calling itself Crack Master or King of Cracks. I simply remember it being the Crack Monster. It yells and crumbles, leaving bricks behind. Eventually, the girl returns to her bed, realizing it was all just her imagination. She then sings, Camel, thank you for the ride. I'll come and see you again sometime.
Several decades later, this short would become one of the most infamous and mysterious pieces of lost media. No one knows who made it. No one knows who found it. And for a long time, no one knew if it even existed. This is The Search for Cracks. After several decades had passed, Armin was unsure if he had simply imagined this bizarre piece of media or if it truly existed. After all, when searching online, there were no results. There were, however, numerous other people who recalled the exact same shorts, albeit with some different details. The first real trail that Armin came across was on a blog called Tale O' the Rat, ran by a woman named Jennifer Bourne, with a post titled The Crack Monster. It was posted on September 20th, 2008. Armin comments on the blog post anonymously, but still signs his name and email, and inquires if anybody else has come across the Crack Monster.
Where is the Crack Monster segment? Someone somewhere's got to have this. I think I need to see it again to have some sort of closure. I've thought about this clip every day for the past 30 years. I know, get a life. I'm 37. This clip would have aired between 1976 and 1978. I was terrified of it and mesmerized by it all at once. I've heard urban myths surrounding this clip. It had to be removed and destroyed because it was causing mental distress, etc. I don't believe that, but I do believe there's a reason why it seems to be the one Sesame Street clip that cannot be found, and why posts and links on various sites are removed once posted. Is this part of some CTW cover-up? There's got to be a reason this is stuck so vividly in my brain for 30 plus years. I need to see it again and get it out. I need to stop this online crusade and do something more important. But until someone finds it for me, the search continues. Someone, please put me out of my misery. Feel free to email me directly. John.
Unfortunately, not many people had VCRs at the time of its alleged airing, and there were doubts that Sesame Street had archives of their older material. Still, Armin remained determined. He and Bourne began to converse, and soon, a few other anonymous members began to chime in about their experience with the crack monster. And it became more and more evident that this short truly does exist, with everyone's descriptions being so similar. While not much to go off of, a small task force was forming with the sole intent of finding this monster. In 2008, several clips of Sesame Street were being uploaded to YouTube, yet the crack master remained missing. John Armin decided to do something that he didn't think of doing at any time in the past 30 years for some reason: contact Children's Television Workshop. You'd think that he would do that at some point, but whatever. After much thorough searching, Armin finally manages to contact an anonymous source at CTW's archives. He learns that the segment first aired on Thursday, February 10th, 1977, during the first 15 minutes of the 979th episode of Sesame Street. Pretty specific information. Unfortunately, he was unable to get any further information, such as what studio or artist was involved in its creation, or when it stopped airing. Armin stated that, at this point, searching for the crack monster had become his life's work. However, he went a bit silent at this point. When suddenly, the most bizarre thing happened. Armin received a fax at work from an anonymous source. The fax simply stated, "We have the copy." Not a copy of the short, the copy. There was also a bit more to this message. They'll send him the copy of the clip on the condition that he never holds a public meeting or releases it online in any way. The clip was for him and him only. Armin faxes back confirmation that he agrees and learns that this fax number is untraceable. Six months pass by, and suddenly, Armin finds a DVD in his mailbox. Alongside the disc was a note that said, "We trust this completes your search." What's also weird is that it was delivered on a Sunday, the one day of the week that there's no mail delivery. Additionally, there was no return address on the package, nor any sort of stamp, meaning that whoever sent him this disc did it personally. After popping in the disc, a Bert and Ernie segment played out before fading into the short that eluded him for 3 decades: the crack monster. Armin finally had it in his possession, but he couldn't show it to anyone. Well, that's what he said, but promises don't last long.
Give me just a second.
He
I'll be right
soon
back. I'm
contacted
still in the
Jennifer
chat,
Bourne
hanging
and
out.
asked to meet up with her at a coffee shop in Los
One more
Angeles.
thing, then I'm gonna come back and
She
record
was
that audio.
incredibly skeptical at first. "You're crazy," I told myself, sitting alone in the coffee shop. "This is ridiculous." It was 7:29 a.m. Sunday morning. It was here that John and I agreed to meet so he could show me his copy of the so-called Crack Monster cartoon, a long-lost clip from Sesame Street that only aired a few times, yet managed to thoroughly freak out kids who saw it. Then John got a copy. At least that's what he said. He also said he was forbidden to post it. No video, no pictures, no sound. The story of how he got it was strange too. Fellow searchers got suspicious. Sure, he said he had it, but did he really have it? Months ago, he promised that he showed it to me the next time he was in town. Sure, I thought. A stranger is going out of his way to meet you and show you a cartoon? But much to her surprise, he showed up with a bag containing the DVD. The crack monster had finally been found, but who made the short? Who sent it? And why weren't they allowed to show it to anyone? The crack monster segment was both found and lost at the same time. Armin had it in his possession, but he couldn't share it, so now what? Well, after hearing about what went down, Lost Media Wiki founder Daikate decided to try and figure out the truth of the crack monster himself. Or rather, the crack master, as Armin was able to confirm that was the official name. Daikate reaches out directly to Armin and Bourne, and learns of the stipulation that they are not allowed to release the footage, at least until Armin completes a documentary he was working on about the search. This was incredibly confusing to Daikate, as Armin had signed a contract stating he would never release it. He did send out audio of the documentary to a select few, but there were no visuals whatsoever. Daikate decided to investigate some of the rumors surrounding the shorts to get a better idea of what's going on here. One of these rumors was that it was animated by Cosmo Anzalotti, an animator with dozens of credits to his name, such as The Smurfs, He-Man, and Alvin and the Chipmunks. However, after reaching out to him, Anzalotti responded with this letter. "Thank you for your letter, and thank you for your efforts and dedication to preserve some rare and obscure animation history. A very noble endeavor. I'm sorry, but during my time in the animation industry, I just can't recall this particular film, Crack Master. It's possible I may have worked on it, and it's also possible that credit was mistakenly given to me. I just don't have any memory of it. Sorry. I commend you for gathering all those signatures. I just wish I could have been more help. Good luck and best wishes to you and your work." So yeah, a dead end. But he got a pretty bitchin' drawing of Scooby-Doo. At this point, Daikate begins to question the validity of Armin's DVD. I know, it's incredibly weird that he is apparently not allowed to share it, but can when his documentary is released. It's very fishy and makes no sense, especially since he signed a contract to not release it at all. And it wasn't Sesame Workshop that said they stored little video footage. It was the CTW archives held at the University of Maryland. Even weirder was an email exchange I had with the head of the Sesame Workshop's PR department, who told me, "Sorry, we will not be able to release the segment at all. Thank you for understanding." When I asked about why this was so, she simply never replied. Then suddenly, as it happened to Armin, Daikate also received an anonymous message in the form of an email with a temporary address. The email contained a video file of cracks, this time including a title card and omitting the Bert and Ernie section, as if it was a separate file. However, unlike Armin's message, there was zero text aside from the video, no rule stating that it can't be shown online. There was nothing, just the video. Daikate didn't hesitate. He uploaded the video online.
While laying in her bed, the cracks overhead more and more looked like a camel. "Today's a rainy day and I can't go out and play. Would you take me for a ride, camel?" Said the camel crack, "Climb upon my back." And right through the wall they did go. When out they came again, they were standing by Crack Hen. "Hello to you, Miss Hen, meet my friend." Then went the three to wall where Crack Monkey lived, close by the attic door. "Good day, good day, good day, I'm glad you came my way. And how has everybody been?" "We've all been fine, meet a new friend of mine. She has come to meet crack creatures here." "And this is all of you?" "Yes, now that you're here too." "But perhaps not so," said Monkey Crack. "At night behind the door, I think I've heard one more." "Then let us all go make a new crack friend." So they happily skipped into where they'd never been, and in corner found a giant crack. "Who are you?" they said. The crack just growled instead and made himself look very big and mean. He said, "I am Crack Master." But just then the wall plaster began to crumble to the floor, and where the monster stood were only beams of wood. He destroyed himself trying to be mean. Went each creature to his wall, and each knowing all was well where each crack lived. "Camel, thank you for the ride. The rain has has stopped outside. We'll go and see the cracks again someday.
Despite the Crackmaster being found, there were still so many unanswered questions. Who made this? Where did it come from? And who sent it? While some were satisfied at this point, Kurt Anderson from the Studio 360 podcast decided to investigate further and answered some of those lingering questions. Not having seen cracks as a child, his fascination was more with the story behind it rather than the short itself. He manages to get in contact with and visits Ben Lehman, the executive producer for Sesame Street for the past 17 years. Anderson discovers that their copy of Cracks isn't in the Sesame Street building. It, alongside many of the older tapes, are in an external storage facility in Queens. However, it was digitized, and lo and behold, it was found in their online databases. Now, given that any employee at Sesame Workshop could have easily accessed the short, it might have been somebody from the company that leaked the copy to John Armand. Ben Lehman had no idea who could have leaked it, but he did have some theories as to why the short was pretty much abandoned and disowned by Sesame Street. The main reason being its title, Cracks. And how about 6 years later the war on drugs began, and crack became slang for drugs. The producers most likely didn't want their child-friendly series to be associated with drugs in any way, which is pretty interesting given that now Sesame Street has a Muppet that teaches children about drug addiction and substance abuse. But whatever. Another theory that Lehman had was that, given the recession occurring at the time, many homes and apartments weren't in the best shape, so to have a cartoon about a broken home with cracked walls could have been seen as a little insensitive. Lehman provided a lot of great information, but he had one more really interesting thing to share. He discovered that the short was created by P Imagination, a studio that he had never heard of, nor yielded any results when searching through Google. However, there was a studio called Imagination Inc. in San Francisco, ran by a man named Jeff Hale, that was involved in some Sesame Street projects. Unfortunately, the studio shut down in 1979, and Anderson was unable to speak to anybody. Luckily, an employee from Sesame Workshop came through for Anderson and found the people involved with the music for Cracks, including a mysterious woman named Dorothy Moskowitz. Kurt Anderson was able to find this mysterious woman through Facebook, and guys, after a few messages back and forth, she agreed to speak with him on the phone. This up here. Listen closely. She might sound familiar.
This is really
Hi
cool.
there. Let me lower the volume now. Hold on a second.
Recognize your voice? Well, this might help.
While laying in her bed, the cracks overhead look more and more like a camel. I wish I could do it over.
She voiced the Crack Master and had no idea that people were looking for this thing for the past 40 years. She literally found out the day before Anderson called her.
I just found out about it yesterday, so it hasn't settled quite, but I was amazed that there's this underground a lot of, what can I call it, a cult, you know?
Alongside being the voice for the Crackmaster, Moskowitz was also the lead singer in the band The United States of America in the 1960s, being known as one of the most influential bands of the decade. She would enjoy working solo gig after solo gig, eventually leading her to a studio gig for what would become Cracks. What's odd is that she described it as one of the strangest recording sessions she's ever attended. There was no melody for her to follow, no chords set up, and she was basically told to improvise. For the Crackmaster, she was instructed to really get into it and chew the scenery, which was very cathartic to her. To this day, Moskowitz has no idea who wrote or animated the short. But she did remember one other person who attended the recording session, a mysterious woman dressed in white. She arrived late and was dressed head to toe in white linens, described like a living blouse. She couldn't remember the woman's name, aside from it being vaguely hippie-ish, like Sky or Earth. Moskowitz believes that she may have been the graphic artist for Cracks, but no one knows for sure. As the story of Cracks comes to an end, for now at least, we may never know who created the short, who sent it to John Armin, and why it was kept hidden the way it was. But in some ways, it kind of adds to its legacy. One has to wonder though, how could a short on a series as popular as Sesame Street have this much mystery surrounding it?
I think I'm going to join some of these chat groups and try and figure out what's what, because I was as close to it as you could possibly be, and I'm still mystified.
Okay. Down you go. So, be sure to subscribe to Blame It on Jorge. He is so good. He's a really cool guy too. I mean, I've gotten to talk to him a little bit just in our a few DM groups that I'm in with him. Just all around really fantastic guy, and he does such good content. I'm gonna copy and paste the link to this video here in the chat for you guys. Hey Dudley T, really happy you're here, man. Just love that you got a lot to say. Just make sure you're not overdoing it and not spamming the chat, buddy. Don't want you to go anywhere. Just, use some discretion on how much of the chat window you're taking up yourself, A lot of people with stuff to say. So, all right, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to give this a shot with going for a country accent here. I live in Texas, so I hear it a lot around here, obviously. So it's not my natural cadence. But let's give it a shot. What I'll do is I'll maybe send him 2 takes. And let him pick which one he likes more. Okay. Wrong one. I'm going to keep this brief. A few years ago, I was a park ranger around Louisiana, 20 years now, retired. Saw something I don't know how to explain in the woods. Thing I saw was roughly 12 feet tall, was extremely hairy. Moved quickly, too. I know this because it chased me out of the woods one fall morning in October a few years back. I was patrolling the area and looking for anyone that might be causing trouble or anything, might need doing or anything like that when it came across this creature. I didn't believe my own sight at the time, but it was very much real. Now, I'm not going to claim it was Bigfoot or anything, as I'm a pretty skeptical person, but it was big enough to be something like that. It was super aggressive, though. I showed up, saw it, and as though it could sense me, it turned and looked at me. I immediately... messed that part up. Let me stop that. Kind of misspoke there. So I showed up, saw it, and as though it could sense me, turned and looked at me. I didn't like that part. It was super aggressive, though. I showed up, saw it, and as though it could sense me. Okay, that's a good place to keep going there. Where was I? It was super aggressive, though. I showed up, saw it, and as soon as... Let me try that again. It was super aggressive, though. I showed up, saw it, and as though it could sense me, turned and looked at me. It immediately let out this strange call, and that's when I see one of its buddies come walking further from the woods towards me. I'll get this right. It was super aggressive, though. I showed up, saw it, and as though it could sense me, it turned and looked at me. It immediately let out this strange call, and That's when I see one of its buddies come walking from further in the woods. Again, my eyes are seeing things, but I'm thinking I have to be hallucinating. Suddenly, the both of them let out this angry call, and the one I initially saw starts running right for me. Now, I'm a country boy, born and raised, and I've seen some things, so I don't spook easily. But this, well, it had me turning and running in terror. I didn't hesitate either as this thing let out a call. I call it a call as I can't even truly describe the sound that came from this thing. And it shook me where I ran. I was convinced at this moment I was gonna die from something no one likely knows or even has proof that it exists. I'm older, so I don't run the quickest, and I was convinced I'd be dead soon, but as I reached the tree line, this thing stopped. I took a breath to breathe and looked back, and it stared, and it let out another call. I was convinced by this point it might still come after me, but then it turned and walked off slowly into the forest. Now, you gotta understand that the thing likely could have caught up to me if it wanted to and probably killed me, so while aggressive, I'm not convinced it was out to kill me per se. I think it was like... Start that over. I think it was just likely saying, hey, this is my territory or home even, and it just wanted me to get the heck out of Dodge. I don't rightly have a better explanation as, again, it could have easily killed me. At any rate, I thought I'd share this story with y'all, and it's used. I hope y'all know I never went back to those woods the rest of my career. I stayed right at the station, which is where I should have stayed to begin with. I'm retired now, and quite happy. Thank you for letting me share my story. How was that, guys? A little too comical, or? You want me to do the demonic version of that? Okay. So Dudley, once again, buddy, really appreciate you stopping by and hanging out, but just, be careful about the spam, bud. Linda, really glad you stopped by. Thanks for coming by. Hope you have a wonderful night. Okay. All right, so let's give this a listen real quick. I know I'm going to have to change a few things and edit a few parts of it to let's see. I think it was about right here. It's super aggressive though. Yeah, I think that's the part where I started getting into my groove there. It's weird when you're recording audio. I found it best if you make a mistake, 9 times out of 10, it's best to just don't even stop recording. Just let it be natural. Let yourself make a few mistakes. Don't freak out when you make them. Just keep going, and then you can go back and edit later. It's always a lot easier than psyching yourself up. Because I don't know, like when you hit the record button, it goes that 3, 2, 1, go, and you're like, So I've been recording since I was about 15 years old, so it's not like I'm not used to hearing my own voice and stuff like that. It's just there's little tricks that you learn, little best practices to make sure you stay on task and get the best quality out of it that you can. So let's give this a listen here and see how it is. I'm gonna keep this brief. A few years ago, I was a park ranger. Are you guys hearing this? 20 years now, retired. Saw something out of... Are you guys hearing the audio? Keep this brief. A few years ago, I was a park ranger around Louisiana. 20 years now, retired. Saw something I don't know how to explain in the woods. Thing I saw was roughly 12 feet tall. It was extremely hairy. Moved quickly, too. I know this because it chased me out of the woods one fall morning in October a few years back. I was patrolling the area and looking for anyone that might be causing trouble or anything, might need doing or anything like that when I came across this creature. I didn't believe my own sight at the time, but it was very much real. Now, I'm not going to claim it was Bigfoot or anything, because I'm a pretty skeptical person, but it was big enough to be something like that. It was super aggressive, though. I showed up, saw it, and as though it could sense me, it turned and looked at me. So if you're only hearing it through my speakers, let me do this. Let me try this. Nope. What about, nope, that's not it either. Let me look at my, hey, be good. It's the main output there, so I don't know why it's not coming through there, but you guys are saying you can kind of hear it through the speakers. Let me at least just turn up the speakers anyway. I'm going to turn this part off. It immediately let out this strange call, and that's when I see one of its buddies come walking from further in the woods. Again, my eyes are seeing things, but I'm thinking I have to be hallucinating. Suddenly, the both of them let out this angry call, and the one I initially saw starts running right for me. Now, I'm a country boy, born and raised, and I've seen some things, so I don't spook easily. But this, well, it had me turning and running in terror. I didn't hesitate either as this thing let out a call. I call it a call as I can't even truly describe the sound that came from this thing. And it shook me where I ran. I was convinced at this moment I was gonna die from something no one likely knows or even has proof that it exists. I'm older, so I don't run the quickest, and I was convinced I'd be dead soon, but as I reached the tree line, this thing stopped. I took a breath to breathe, looked back, and it stared, and it let out another call. I was convinced by this point it might still come after me, but then it turned and walked off slowly into the forest. Now, you gotta understand that the thing likely could have caught up to me if it wanted to and probably killed me, so while aggressive, I'm not convinced it was out to kill me per se. I think it was like, start that over. Okay, let's fix that part. So we're about right here. It was out to kill me per se. I think it was like, okay. I think he was just likely saying. Okay, so let's go ahead and slice that up there. If I'm not convinced it was out to kill me per se. I think he was just likely saying, hey, this is my territory or home even, and just wanted me to get the heck out of Dodge. I don't rightly have a better explanation as, again, it could have easily killed me. At any rate, I thought I'd share this story with y'all and its used. I hope y'all know I never went back to those woods the rest of my career. I stayed right at the station, which is where I should have stayed to begin with. I'm retired now. I'm quite happy. Thank you for letting me share my story. Cool. So I gotta be honest, I was not happy with the first recording with just my natural regular speaking accent. So I'm gonna re-record that part too. And like I said, what we'll do is we'll send Swamp Dweller both of these parts. Okay. I'm going to keep this brief. Okay. Missing something here. Missing the audio. There it is. Okay. I'm going to keep this brief. A few years ago while working, I was a park ranger around Louisiana, 20 years now retired. I saw something I don't know how to explain in the woods. The thing I saw was roughly 12 feet tall and it was really hairy. Moved quickly too. I know this because it chased me out of the woods one fall morning in October a few years back. I was patrolling the area and looking for anyone that might be causing trouble or anything that might need doing when I came across this creature. I didn't quite believe my own sight at the time, but it was very much real. I'm not going to claim it was Bigfoot or anything, as I'm a pretty skeptical person, but it was big enough to be something like that. It was super aggressive, though. I showed up, saw it, and as soon I showed up, saw it, and as though it could sense me, it turned and looked at me. It immediately let out this strange call, and that's when I see one of its buddies coming walking from further in the woods. Again, my eyes are starting to see things, but I'm thinking I have to be hallucinating. Suddenly, the both of them let out an angry call, and the one I initially saw starts running right for me. Now, I'm a country boy, born and raised, and I've seen some things, so I don't spook easily. But this, well, it had me turning and running in terror. I didn't hesitate either, as this thing let out a call. Well, I call it a call, as I can't even truly describe the sound that came from this thing, and it shook me where I ran. I was convinced at this moment I was going to die from something no one likely knows or even has proof that it exists. I'm older, so I don't run the quickest, and I was convinced I would be dead soon. But as I reached the tree line, this thing stopped. I took a break. I took a break to breathe and looked back, and it stared and let out another call. I was convinced by this point it might still come after me, but then it turned and walked off slowly into the forest. Now, you gotta understand, that thing likely could have caught up to me if it wanted and probably killed me. So, while aggressive, I'm not convinced it was out to kill me per se. I think it was likely just saying, hey, this is my territory, or home even, and just wanted me to get the heck out of Dodge. I don't rightly have a better explanation, as, again, it could have easily killed me. At any rate, I thought I'd share this story with y'all and see if it's used. I hope y'all know I never went back to those woods the rest of my career. I stayed right at the station, which is where I should have stayed to begin with. I'm retired now, though. Should be good now. If you're not hearing it, let me know. Okay, good. All right. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and give this a listen again, because I know I took a few pauses there to re-record a couple of mistakes that I made. Okay, here we go. I'm going to keep this brief. A few years ago, while working, I was a park ranger around Louisiana, 20 years now retired. I saw something I don't know how to explain in the woods. The thing I saw was roughly 12 feet tall, and it was really hairy. It moved quickly, too. I know this because it chased me out of the woods one fall morning in October a few years back. I was patrolling the area. Let's go ahead and shorten up that pause there. Let's drag that over here. It chased me out of the woods one fall morning in October a few years back. I was patrolling the area and looking for anyone that might be causing trouble or anything that might need doing when I came across this creature. Sounds better. I didn't quite believe my own sight at the time, but it was very much real. I'm not going to claim it was Bigfoot or anything, as I'm pretty skeptical person, but it was big enough to be something like that. It was super aggressive, though. I showed up, saw it, and as soon... There it is. To be something like that. It was super aggressive, though. I showed up, saw it, and as soon... I showed up, saw it, and as though it could saw it, and as I showed up, saw it, and as soon... So that's where we need to cut it there. So let's zoom in a little bit. And then we'll go ahead and slice it again right here. And we'll just do a little bit of editing magic, and it'll sound hopefully like I didn't take any pauses or it was never there to begin with. It was super aggressive, though. I showed up, saw it. Got a little bit of a breath noise there, so let's fix that. Okay, let's do one of these. Boom. It was super aggressive, though. I showed up, there we go. Saw it, and as though it could sense me, it turned and looked at me. It immediately let out this strange call, and that's when I see one of its buddies coming, walking from further in the woods. Again, my eyes are starting to see things, but I'm thinking I have to be hallucinating. Suddenly, the both of them let out an angry call, and the one I initially saw starts running right for me. Now, I'm a country boy, born and raised, and I've seen some things, so I don't spook easily. But this, well, it had me turning and running in terror. I didn't Okay. Okay, so let's fix that part. Let's fix it. Boom. Boom. Get rid of that. Let's listen to it back. Make sure there's no... Me turning and running in terror. I didn't hesitate either, as this thing let out a call. Well, I call it a call, as I can't even truly describe the sound that came from this thing, and it shook me where I ran. I was convinced at this moment I was going to die from something no one likely knows or even has proof that it exists. I'm older, so I don't run the quickest, and I was convinced I would be dead soon. But as I reached the tree line, this thing stopped. I took a break. Okay, there was that. That was one line that I was having a tough time with. I was, let's slice that up there. Bam. Bam. I didn't really listen to it back, but I'm pretty sure that's where it is. But let's just make sure. As I reached the tree line, this thing stopped. I took a break to breathe. There we go. And looked back, and it stared and let out another call. I was convinced by this point it might still come after me. But then it turned and walked off slowly into the forest. Now, you gotta understand, that thing likely could have caught up to me if it wanted and probably killed me. So, while aggressive, I'm not convinced it was out to kill me per se. I think it was likely just saying, hey, this is my territory, or home even, and just wanted me to get the heck out of Dodge. I don't rightly have a better explanation, as, again, it could have easily killed me. At any rate, I thought I'd share this story with y'all and see if it's used. I hope y'all know I never went back to those woods the rest of my career. I stayed right at the station, which is where I should have stayed to begin with. I'm retired now, though, and I'm pretty happy. Thank you for letting me share my story. Cool. So what are you guys thinking? Country accent or regular? I'm going to send them both. Just wondering which one you guys... Oh, yeah, you wanted to hear the demonic version. Okay, so let's do this. So let's change the mixer track here. We'll go with Monster. Let's see how it sounds here.
I'm going to keep this brief.
That's not it.
A few
That's not it. Let's change that. Let's change it to that one.
Years ago, while working, I was a park ranger around Louisiana. 20 years now, retired.
That sounds more like protected identity. But that's about where it's at there. Okay, so let me do this. I'm gonna take that, boom, bring it to the beginning. So I'm gonna export 2 versions of this. I'm gonna export the one with my regular accent, and I will export one with the country accent that we tried out. All right. Swampy story. NightDocs. Regular accent. That's probably offensive to somebody when I say something like regular accent. So let's do that. Boy, that wind is howling outside. That thunderstorm warning was no joke. It's good cuddle weather. Which is what I'd say if... Never mind. Okay, so there's that one. And then we'll do Southern accent, or NightDocs' attempt at a Southern accent anyway. So it's about a 3-minute story there, it looks like. Felt like I had a little bit more urgency in my voice with the Southern accent, but I felt like the one with my more natural speaking voice, I was able to be a little bit more dynamic. I don't know. I'll let him decide which one he likes more. Okay, so let me do this. I'm going to switch to this. And... Let me catch up on chat here. Zeph, you getting tired? You don't have to stay up. Honestly, I'm just kind of hanging out. I might play a little game a little bit in a little bit. I've got an idea for something I think would be fun, but you can hang out. You can do that. Let's see here. You want to hear the girl version too, Sanguine? I can do that. Put it over a sick beat. I could probably do something like that pretty easily. You like the country one better? Okay. It felt a little more natural to just the story. I mean, it was obviously written by somebody that was Southern, and the language flow is definitely more Southern. Zeph, have a good night, buddy. Really awesome hanging out with you. Okay, so let's go. I'm going to open up my emails here so I can send Swampy all of our hard work here. So, oops, nope, that's not it. There we go. Hey, Swampy. Thanks for letting me try this out and giving me something to do on my live stream tonight. It seemed to like having a behind the scenes look at making some content. And it was pretty fun. I recorded 2 versions, and I'll let you decide which one fits better or sounds better. One with my normal speaking accent and one in a southern accent, since it seemed obvious to me that this story was pretty southern in nature. Anyway, if you would like me to re-record, or if you ever want anything else done, I'm happy to be a part of anything you want me in. Thanks again, buddy. All right, let's go ahead and attach these files. Get those, drag those into the email. Cool. Let's go ahead and send her away. I'm going to send Swampy a DM here. Let him know I'm done. Cool. All right, so hey brother, all done. Sent it to your email. 2 versions. Regular old NightDocs and southern accent. I'll let you decide which version fits better. Cool. All right, so hi, Alana. Okay, NightDocs, what you said you liked more about the country one earlier was a very good point. It just seemed like the language and the flow of it was a lot more southern in nature. I mean, the guy straight up said he was from Louisiana, and you know, that was kind of a dead giveaway, obviously, but can we spell tea? I don't know. I'm kind of curious, Sanguine, but I'm a little I'm bracing. Oh, she sets it up and then says I can't spell tea without consent. She just sets it up and then knocks it down. What a tease. Man, that storm, that is nuts. So if my internet goes out or anything like that, just blame it on the weather. NightDocs yelled at us. I didn't yell at you guys. At least I hope I didn't. I try to be nice to everybody. Oh, consent from me. Well, I'll tell you what. So Sanguine. Okay, so we don't have a whole lot of people here. So it sounds like you kind of want to tell the story, and you're more than welcome to. I will say I looked into you a little bit after we had that DM conversation on Reddit, just because I was trying to figure out, like, you know, how on earth you even, you know, found me and all that kind of stuff. So I'll give you a little bit of a backstory. So I am on, I'll show you here. I am on the Social Blade Discord. I joined it really early on. And there's a very active user in the Social Blade Discord that I have blocked, and I'm pretty sure that that's this guy right here, who he was at about 800 subscribers. This is right when I first started my YouTube channel. He had about 800 subscribers, and then within like a day, he went up to something like 4,400, and he was bragging about, you know, how awesome he thought he was and stuff. And I looked into him because I was like, what's going on here? Like, something's fishy. And I looked into him, and it turned out he was uploading full episodes of a TV show to his YouTube channel, and bragging about it and stuff. So, you know, I called him out on it. I did. I called him out on it. I was like, well, you're either botting to get all those subscribers, which are going to do nothing for you, or the way you got your audience base is not through your own content, by stealing somebody else's. He got pretty salty, and he got really angry. I didn't really say much to him. Like, I called him out on that one thing, and I haven't really said much to him since. In fact, I don't think I've really interacted with him at all since then. But he got really, really angry and went on his channel and started asking people to raid my channel and stuff like that, and started making videos about me. There used to be a video on YouTube called NightDocs is Canceled, where he basically looked at my Social Blade profile and tried to say that I was somehow botting for subscriptions, which, even if that worked, I would never recommend it, because you end up with just dead subs, and all that does is give you a number to serve your vanity, really. So really, at the end of the day, figured out this kid is an 11-year-old Roblox YouTuber. I didn't know, like, when I called him out on that on the Discord server, it turned out he was this 11-year-old kid. So like I was already not going to engage with him anymore, but he got pretty angry, and he made like 3 videos actually asking people to raid my channel with dislikes and all sorts of stuff. And honestly, it never really bothered me. I honestly thought it was kind of funny. I was texting a couple of people. I was like, look, this is kind of funny. Like, I ended up in a war with an 11-year-old. But yeah, it was pretty funny. And so what he showed, so here's the thing. NightDocs, I think I've said this before. NightDocs is actually a rebranded, like, it's my personal YouTube channel back when it was just my real name tied to my Gmail account. And when I made that Room 322 video, that was kind of when I decided I should probably start actually making some content and try this out. And so I started NightDocs officially on October 27th. And since it was my old YouTube channel, there were a lot of just garbage videos on there. Just stuff that I'd been uploading forever. There was really not a whole lot worth seeing, but I'll show you here. I'm going to show you my analytics tab here, because this next part of the story is kind of entertaining. So if you look on my actual videos list, there's a lot of stuff on here that isn't public. I got a few Patreon exclusive vlogs. I got a few I got a few trailers for a few videos. And so you can see the moment where I started making content for YouTube as it stands now. So this is back when I did the Room 322 thing. This is, that video was October 12th. October 27th is when I rebranded as NightDocs. And that's why the Room 322 video doesn't have any NightDocs branding on it or anything like that. It's just me, you know, and it's a really kind of amateur video, really. I was still, you know, learning how to edit. The videos that I do now, I feel like my editing's a little bit better, but I mean, it's whatever. That's a whole other topic. But anyway, I mean, if you go further down here, there's all sorts of like other videos that I've got that were under the old channel. And tell you what, I'll show you. I'll just organize this by views so you can see. So I like had a bunch of just, you know, bullshit videos. So like this one right here. This is one that I made back in like 2008, and it was just a garbage video. Like it's like a 30-second video. This is 49 seconds, and it somehow got like 3 million views. So it was like this unintentional viral sort of thing. And like all these are unlisted on my channel because they obviously don't fit the theme of NightDocs. And I want to, you know, now that I'm actually trying to make some good content, I want to create a consistent experience. But you can kind of see, and this is all the video is. This is one of the unlisted videos that I've got. It's literally just the Earth spinning, and it's a sound that is, it's basically like, I think it's like the radio signals coming off of Earth that's been kind of transcoded into some kind of audio. So it's not like, obviously, you can't stick a microphone out of a spaceship and hear what the Earth sounds like in general because, you know, obviously there's no sound in space. But, you know, if you took basically I guess I'll just call it the signature of the Earth and found a way to convert it into audio, that's basically what it would sound like. And there's actually videos out there for different other for different other planets in the solar system. There's one for Jupiter and Saturn. Jupiter sounds really cool. I'm kind of a space nut. I love this kind of stuff. And it was just one of those things I just kind of threw together. I literally did this in like Windows Movie Maker, right? You know, you can kind of tell. It was back in like 2008. I had no idea it was going to take off like this. Got like almost 3 million views. And so when you delist videos off of your channel, I'll show you here. So when you delist videos on your channel, it subtracts the views. So you can kind of see these giant dips here. So like you can see on November 4th, 2019, when I finally delisted that video, I had negative 3 million views. On October 14th, I had negative almost 2 million views. Anyway, when this kid found my Social Blade profile and saw all these negative views, and then he looked at the forecast and it showed me going into like the negative hundreds of millions in my future views forecast, and saw that going on with the subscriber base going a lot higher. He was like, something's fishy here. And so he rang the alarm bells and tried to get everybody to come raid my channel and all that. But anyway, that's what happened. It was honestly kind of funny. Let me take a look at this here. Just kind of curious. Bro, this storm is crazy. Are you streaming? Question mark. I think Nexpo's about to start a live stream too. He says he's going to be drink streaming. I might do the same. I might grab a beer here in a second. I didn't think I was actually going to be on this long. But, you know, whatever. I got nothing better to do. Let's see here. So I'm trying to turn the clock back a little bit to show you where all those negative views came from. Oh boy. Yeah, don't go looking for the kid. You just, he's just a kid. And like I said with Sanguine, like I really don't hold grudges. If we were all judged by the things we do when we were 11 years old and 15 years old and shoot, even in your 20s, life would be pretty difficult. Oh, Sanguine, the ARG Underground Discord server. Yeah, I steer clear of that for obvious reasons. I've had a little bit of friction with some of the admins. Well, honestly, only 2 of them. But, I'm not going to call them out and all that because it would be unfair for me to do that, even if I was right, which I think I am, honestly, but who doesn't think they're right? But most importantly, I have a platform that they do not, so they wouldn't be able to respond with the same kind of strength and audience that I have right now. And obviously my channel's still pretty small, but like it's still a bigger platform than those people have right now beyond just their own circle of people on the Discord server and stuff. So it really wouldn't be fair for me to, I don't want to use the term punching down because that implies that I think they're like lower than me, and that's not true at all. It's just there's just a numerical value assigned to the size of the audience that I've got of people that are listening to me, right? So it just wouldn't be fair. Yeah, Sanguine, it's you just gotta you just gotta be careful with who you engage with and how you engage, and just try and kill them with kindness and try not to start a lot of beef yourself, I guess. That's honestly the best advice I could give you. I don't know why I'm looking at this still. You guys don't care about this. I don't even look at my own Social Blade very often. Like, I look at my like subscriber counts and stuff like that. I don't look at views very much. I don't know. Not something I'm too concerned with right now, just because, if I'm going to get views, it'll happen later. Right now, I'm just kind of doing my thing. I figure if I can grow the audience size, the views will take care of themselves. Right now, I'm honestly just happy to have anybody that wants to view the content that I'm doing. That's really cool for me. Okay, so I think we're done with the new PAX flyer. I'm done with Nexpo's new logo. I don't need that anymore. I think I'm good with that. I don't need that. Okay, cool. I think I can close Photoshop. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna look for something here. I wanna hide this from you guys while I'm searching for it, because I want it to be a surprise if I can find it here. I'm gonna be so excited if I can find this. It's in DOS though. I wonder if it's gonna. What? Okay, never mind. Okay, gonna try and download the DOS version of this, see if I can get it to work. It's an old game, and I will giggle with glee if I can get this to work. Hi, Kimberly. Sanguine, don't be so hard on yourself. You really shouldn't be. I did view some of your content, by the way. I'm not really into ARGs and stuff personally, so I'm, this is only so deep that I went, but, you had a good camera presence anyway, and you seemed to have a good number of people that were engaging with you in your content anyway. So, I mean, I know you're beating yourself up a little bit ago about, you kind of disappeared from online for a little bit, but, in my experience, time heals all wounds, and I personally believe everybody deserves multiple chances. If there's I am an incurable optimist. I do believe people are inherently good. People make mistakes, but they're inherently good. And when somebody is making an honest attempt to be just better, then it is not up to me or anybody to kick them while they're down or not give them a chance, because what goes around comes around, and if I don't give somebody another chance or anything like that, what's going to happen someday when I make some colossal mistake and I'm asking somebody for either forgiveness or for, somebody to give me another shot, and they can look in my past and say something like, what about that time where you weren't even willing to give the same benefit of the doubt to somebody else? I mean, why should... Anyway, I'm getting a little soapboxy here, and I'm sorry. So, all right. So installation. This is a really old game, so it's gonna be tough to see if I can get this to work on here. I understand. Let's see here. Install. Let's try and run this as an administrator or something. Cannot find how. Okay, so I might need to find a DOS emulator of some sort to actually run this. And I have tried that before and couldn't get it to work. Come on. Stop it. Okay. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take Kimberly's advice. I'm going to grab a beer. Or a non-alcoholic beverage. Wink, wink. And see if I can get this to install. I'm going to set something up for you guys to watch for a second while I'm just going downstairs to grab one. And let me see here. I know there's a couple things I can show you guys that you would really, really like. You know what? I show this guy to anybody who will listen, because I think he is an amazing storyteller. And although he has like close to 1 million subscribers, his name's Kento Bento. It seems like nobody in the circle of people that I associate with in this YouTube community, none of them seem to even know who he is, which is just an absolute crime. Because this guy, I tell you, he is one of the best creators out there, and he's a huge inspiration for me personally, because he blends art with storytelling so well, And if any of you saw the David Parker Ray documentary that I did at the very beginning, the intro, where you've got Cynthia Virgil Jaramillo, who's escaped from David Parker Ray. I hired an artist. Her name was Teresa Donhauser. Wonderful human being. She's just the sweetest girl and worked so hard on these. She did these amazing drawings. Did about 10 of them, I believe, for the intro, where I told the story of how she escaped. And it was such a cool story to me, and I wanted an artist to do it. And anyway, she drew those 10 panels, and I told it in kind of like almost like a comic book style at the beginning of it as the introduction. And the inspiration I got for that was from watching this guy's videos. And he does such a good job with storytelling, all of that stuff. It's freezing up on me here, though. Entropy, I'm so glad you have heard of Kento Bento. He's so good. So good. Sanguine, you want alcohol? Shoot, if you were close by, I'd be more than happy to offer you a beer or something. What part of the country are you in? I'm gonna reload this here because it's freezing up on me. Still got some leftover gummies from last
started
night.
dawning on him. The transfers totaled to almost $1 billion.
Spoilers.
US.
Spoilers. All right, let's just press play here. I'm really hoping I don't end up with like a lost connection here with this storm. This storm is
Never want to
crazy
lose another
outside.
password again at the
Okay,
link
so
in the description.
let me switch the
Bangladesh, February 7th, 2016.
Okay.
The director of the Bangladesh Central Bank got off the elevator on the 9th floor and headed to the back office of the accounts and budgeting department.
I'm gonna
This
switch
was the most
to just
restricted part of
desktop.
the building. He was there to deal with a problem, one that had been plaguing the office the last few days. You see, the printer wasn't working. This was kind of a big deal. It was causing
let me start this over here.
I'm Kento Bento.
Okay. Be right
This
back,
video
guys.
is made possible by Dashlane. Download Dashlane for free if you never want to lose another password again at the link in the description. Bangladesh, February 7th, 2016. The director of the Bangladesh Central Bank got off the elevator on the
Give
9th
myself a
floor
beer.
and headed to the back office of the accounts and budgeting department. This was the most restricted part of the building. He was there to deal with a problem, one that had been plaguing the office the last few days. You see, the printer wasn't working. This was kind of a big deal. It was causing a real disruption. The automated printer, which was hooked up to the bank's software, was supposed to work round the clock, 24/7, printing out the bank's transaction reports in real time. Due to this technical glitch, however, the printer tray remained empty. Much of the day was spent trying to fix the issue, and after a great deal of effort, there was success. They were able to restart the printer. And so the backlog of transaction reports started rolling out, one by one. Now it soon became apparent that something wasn't quite right. There were more statements than expected. When they took a closer look, they found 35 suspicious payment orders for what were ridiculously large sums of money, having supposedly been transferred from the Bangladesh bank's own account to various other accounts in other countries. Certainly, no one from their bank had authorized it, and the swift security system in place was unbreachable. As the director sifted through the suspicious transfer requests, the true scale of the situation started dawning on him. The transfers totaled to almost $1 billion, an absurd amount, a significant chunk of the nation's reserves. Where were they going? Who was responsible? Panic ensued as the workers scrambled to stop the payments, but it was likely too late. The ill-timed printer malfunction from earlier had caused an unfortunate delay in their response. It seemed Bangladesh had just lost $1 billion. But how? This happened in February 2016, but what led to this moment actually started 9 months earlier. Philippines, May 2015. Over 3,000 kilometers away, a group of men entered the Jupiter Street branch of the RCBC Bank, just outside Manila, and opened 4 bank accounts with just $500 inside. The men then left, never to return, with their accounts left seemingly abandoned. Now, returning to Bangladesh, the country was becoming one of the fastest growing economies in the world. Their central bank sat in the financial district of the capital, Dhaka, a chaotic city with almost 20 million people. But despite all this rapid growth, it was a nation that could ill afford to lose $1 billion of taxpayers' money. Fast forward, January 2016, a month before the incident, an employee at the Bangladesh bank was checking his mail at work. Now, nothing seemed out of the ordinary. He thought nothing of it. But he went home that night not realizing he had just set in motion events that would soon shock the nation's banking system, if not the world. You see, he had inadvertently clicked on an infected email, one that immediately began installing a malicious program in the central bank's computer systems. This malware would allow intruders to enter the network and gain access to the inner workings of the Bangladesh bank. Hiding in plain sight, these intruders could now spy on workers and study the bank's operational procedures. And that's what they did. It was now just a matter of time. A month later, on a Thursday, as the bank was shutting down for the weekend, which in Muslim-majority countries like Bangladesh tends to be on a Friday and Saturday instead of a Saturday and Sunday, the intruders once again entered the system. But it was for the last time, because this was what it was all leading to. Now, they were in the system, but manipulating international money transfers was a whole nother thing. SWIFT, you may have heard, is a global payment network enabling financial transactions to be sent in a secure and reliable way, using military-grade security designed to be unbreachable. Just to be clear, SWIFT does not facilitate the transfer of actual funds, but rather it sends trusted payment orders between accounts, which the banks then act on. This is the standard in international banking, and this is partly why bank hackers usually focus on stealing the login credentials of individual bank account holders, rather than focusing on the banks themselves. But it wasn't the case here, not for this group. Their target was the institution. Using the bank's legitimate SWIFT credentials that they collected from the malware, they were able to take control of the SWIFT terminals, as if they were legitimate bank employees. Yes, SWIFT itself is safe and secure, but the banks using them first needed to be responsible for their individual cybersecurity on their end. If their security happened to be lacking, as in the case with many developing nations, SWIFT could actually be used against them. And that's what was happening here. 35 phony transfer requests totaling $951 million was by now being sent via SWIFT to the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. Okay, but why New York? Well, because the Bangladesh bank owns an account there with billions of dollars on deposit, meant for international settlements. The details of the requests sent from Bangladesh were to transfer the funds from New York to various accounts set up across Asia. I'll get to that part soon. Now, with that, they were done. In and out in just hours. The next day, Friday, New York City, one of the world's biggest financial centers. The Federal Reserve Bank of New York was busy processing Bangladesh's payment orders, or supposed payment orders. The Fed, renowned for its security, initially had no cause to stop the transfers, because SWIFT instructions are legitimate, they're trusted. So, oblivious to the deception, they began processing the requests. Sunday morning, the Bangladesh bank employees, back from their weekend, were now trying to fix their darn printer problem. The automated printer connected to the SWIFT network hadn't been working the last days, and the usual printouts of real-time transfer confirmations were backlogged. Of course, this was the most unfortunate time for a technical glitch. Except it wasn't really a technical glitch. The hackers had indeed taken additional steps in preventing confirmation messages from revealing their theft, wiping out evidence from the SWIFT database and intentionally crashing the automated printer. This had bought them some much-needed time. Now, meanwhile, in Sri Lanka, $20 million arrived in a Pan-Asia bank account of a company called the Shalika Foundation, sent from the Federal Reserve Bank in New York. This, of course, was just one of 35 transfers making its way to Asia. Right back in Bangladesh, the workers had now finally got the printer working, and they were sorting through the transfer requests. Panic quickly ensued as they realized 35 payment orders were made, totaling to almost $1 billion. They immediately tried to send a stop payment order to the New York Fed, but it was a Sunday, and there was no one there to respond. By the time New York staff would return on the Monday, it would have surely been too late. Now, little did they know they had actually caught a lucky break, because it turned out the automated system in New York had flagged 30 of the transactions for manual review. By complete luck, one of the words on the SWIFT order happened to match the name of a shipping company that had been blacklisted for evading US sanctions against Iran.
I'm back here,
Pure
buddy.
coincidence. This would prove devastating for the hackers,
Let's
as
finish watching this stuff.
$870 million
This is so
worth
good.
of transfers were now blocked. Later, when
Let me
staff
open
took
up
a
the chat
closer
here so
look,
I can see what
they
everybody's
noticed
saying.
several red flags. The unusually high number of payment instructions, the large transfers to private entities rather than banks, and the ridiculously large total. At this point, they had to seek clarification from Bangladesh, and after getting word of their stop payment order, the transfers were shut down. It was over. The gig was up. Or was it? Yes, 30 of the transactions worth $870 million would never be seen by hackers, but there were still 5 transactions left. The remaining 101 million, which the Fed's automated system failed to pick up on, and which was still a heck of a lot of money, had gotten through. Where did these 5 end up? The first transfer, Sri Lanka, $20 million, as we know, reached an account in the Pan Asia Bank via Deutsche Bank, which was the routing bank, intended for a company called the Shalika Foundation. This was a supposed Sri Lankan non-profit. Now, an observant employee at the Pan Asia Bank noticed something odd. $20 million was an unusually large amount for such a small NGO, not to mention for the country of Sri Lanka.
We're gonna keep
this
watching
employee
this.
then sent the transaction back to Deutsche Bank for verification.
Okay, I'm just gonna turn on the webcam part here again, just so you can see them here anyway. We're gonna finish watching this though, and then we're gonna get to what we were gonna do next.
So now Germany, Frankfurt. The payment order, just like in New York, was being reviewed. And just like New York, there were red flags.
This video is
such as
so
one,
good.
Spelling foundation as foundation. These suspicions were soon reaffirmed. And ultimately it turned out, no surprise, that this Shalika Foundation was indeed a fake company. The money was then rerouted back to the Bangladesh Bank's New York account. Then there were 4, $81 million. But we won't drag this out because these 4 were all sent not just to the same country, not just the same bank, but to the same branch. The Jupiter Street branch of the RCBC Bank just outside Manila in the Philippines. 4 accounts had laid dormant for 9 months with just $500 inside, untouched, until a sudden cash infusion of $81 million. These sudden bursts should have triggered an alert from RCBC, but for whatever reason, it slid under the radar. And indeed, the accounts were later found to be under fictitious identities. From there, the money was quickly withdrawn and laundered through casinos, where the electronic money transfers were converted to hard, untraceable cash. The Bangladesh Bank did try to stop the transfers, but timing was just not on their side. The stop order was not...
You guys see what I'm talking about? How he blends such good artwork with the story he's trying to tell, and does almost this comic book style. I love this stuff. It's just, this is why I was talking about how this was such a big inspiration for me on the David Parker Ray video, on how I just saw something like this and I was like, this could work so well with the story I'm trying to tell. I just thought it was just so effective and engaging, because I just, it's so hard for me to recommend just one of this guy's videos. Like, he has so many like this one. They're just so good. And this was honestly, I think, the first one that he did in this style, and they just got better and better from here too. But this was the first one that I watched that I was just like, wow. And that's what got me to subscribe to this guy. I would love to connect with Kento Bento, just pick his brain and just, I don't know, just talk to him. It'd be really, really cool.
Not received by RCBC Bank on the expected Monday, because Monday was Chinese New Year, a non-working holiday in the Philippines. By now you're probably noticing a trend here. Every step of the way there were delays that benefited the hackers, and this was by design. A remarkably well-timed attack. On Thursday evening, they entered the system at the start of the Bangladesh weekend when the bank is closing. On Friday, the New York Fed tries to clarify the requests with Bangladesh, but no one's there. On Sunday, Bangladesh staff return from the weekend but can't get through to New York as it's now the weekend in the US. On Monday, the Fed finally gets the orders to stop the transfers, but not the Philippines because it just so happened to be Chinese New Year there. And only on Tuesday, 5 days after the heist, did RCBC staff find out about the fraudulent transfers. But by then it was too late. Now, 2 Chinese men, Ding and Gao, were eventually found to be responsible for setting up the fake RCBC accounts in the Philippines. They turned out to be just middlemen, but they were still a crucial part of the operation, and investigators hoped questioning them would lead to the true culprits. Unfortunately, before the Bangladesh authorities were able to apprehend them, they left the country, boarding flights to Macau, a special administrative region of China, where it was then impossible to track them. And so with the remaining 4 transfers, the hackers were able to net $81 million. Not quite the original sum, but still enough by some metrics to be considered the single biggest bank heist in history. Now, despite the attackers' best efforts at removing evidence from the bank's systems, cybersecurity experts were still able to analyze the malware. What they found were similarities in the techniques and tools used between the Bangladesh bank heist and many other cyber attacks on financial institutions around the world. Which means that this one particular group had very likely been responsible for a series of global attacks. This group was dubbed Lazarus. But there was more. As experts dug deeper, combing through the server logs of recent attacks, they found something even more unexpected. An IP address connecting Lazarus to a particular nation state. For a brief moment, they had failed to cover their tracks, and the logs had indicated that the attack servers they used had been accessed at least once from a North Korean IP address. There was also Korean language found embedded in the computer code. Now, it is important to note that it is possible that North Korea was framed, with the attackers leaving behind purportedly solid evidence in order to mislead investigators. But, according to the majority of cybersecurity experts, it is almost certain that North Korea was behind the attacks. And it wasn't just attacks on financial institutions. They were also revealed to be responsible for many cyber terrorism and cyber espionage campaigns against the South Korean government and various South Korean infrastructures. Then there's the Sony Pictures hack of 2014. One of the biggest corporate breaches in history. Lazarus had taken great exception to the plot of the film The Interview, where the North Korean leader Kim Jong-un was targeted for assassination by the CIA. Cinemas across the US were threatened with terrorist attacks if the film wasn't pulled. North Korea of course denied any responsibility, but it seemed fairly obvious that this group was actively targeting known enemies of the state. Now, as for Lazarus's banking exploits, like the Bangladesh incident, the attacks were just the start. They had to ensure the money would then get to the intended location. And the way they did that was to have the stolen funds move through places like Macau, which in particular is known to be North Korea's financial point of contact with the outside world. We know, thanks to the two Chinese middlemen, that that's exactly where the Bangladesh funds ended up. And from there, it wouldn't have been hard for the money to be wired directly to Pyongyang. Proceeds would then have likely gone towards advancing their nuclear program, funding the lifestyles of the elite, and propping up their economy. All this quite possibly representing a significant percentage of the country's current GDP. If this is all accurate, and North Korea is indeed behind these attacks, the international implications would be profound, especially with the recent developments, as this would be the first known case of a nation-state robbing banks. From there, perhaps anything is possible. They could hack political campaigns, weapons systems, civilian bank accounts, or even YouTube accounts who have made content they may find unfavorable. Oh, crap. Actually, that's okay, because I have Dashlane. Dashlane makes keeping track of all your passwords ridiculously easy. Not only is it going to prevent North Korea from spying on you,
pretty much ends
that's
there.
likely to happen, but it'll store all your...
So yeah, that's the video. My phone is at like 8%. It's okay. You don't have to worry about. I don't think you got to worry about Nexpo. I think he was just texting me a second ago. I think he's about to be streaming himself. He does all of his streams like unlisted though, because when you've got 1 million subscribers, it's kind of hard to do any kind of stream. At least with a chat anyway. Let me see if he is or not. I'm not sure if he shares his streams on Twitter or not. See, typically, okay. Yeah, he typically doesn't stream a lot. Let me text him and see if he's streaming. Oh no, it looks like he's going to bed. Okay, sorry about that. Just sending a quick text there just to. So I guess he's not streaming tonight. All right. So let me see if I can get. I want to close this because I don't want you guys to see what I'm trying to start playing here. Okay, so what was I gonna do? DOS emulator. DOSBox, that's what it is. I've tried to use this before, and I've had a tough time getting it to actually work. But that's probably because I'm dumb. So, all right, let's give this a shot. Okay. Nexpo wants me to play Call of Duty with him. So we'll see. We'll try and get this to work. And if not, then I'll join Nexpo playing Call of Duty or something like that. I may have to, let me look at my thing and make sure my copy is up to date because I haven't played it at all. I bought the newest Call of Duty and I've played it all of like 3 times so far. I think I'm only at level like 4 or 5 in the multiplayer stuff, which is embarrassing. I'm not very good at these kind of games. All right, we'll let that do its thing here. Let's try and open up DOSBox. I don't know how to use DOSBox. It's not like this thing you can just open, it looks like. I'll figure it out sometime. Cool. We might get Nexpo on here. Might as well go ahead and play this. So, all right. So, change of plans, I guess, because I don't know how to use DOSBox. We're gonna play some. We're gonna play some video games with Nexpo, I guess, guys. Let me catch up on the chat here. You're kind of crushing on Rain, huh? You got good taste. Rain's a great girl. I don't know her very well. I really don't. She has kind of a minimal online presence. She pops in once in a while in the DM group I'm in with her, but I haven't really gotten to know her very well. She's kind of had less of a presence in recent times. So this is going to be kind of interesting because I want to be able to see the chat. But I might need to figure something out. Let me do this. Set up YouTube chat overlay Streamlabs. Okay, so how do I add chat overlay to... I don't want to watch a video. I just want to get a quick thing here. Okay, so display chat. How do I enable chat? Download that. Customize your settings. Okay, open Streamlabs OBS. I'm going to open that up. We're going to customize our settings. Find chat box in your dashboard under widgets. Because I want to be able to respond to what you guys are saying. App Store themes. Where is it? I think it's over here. We'll do this here. I'm going to add widgets chat box. Here we go. Okay. I'm seeing some progress here. Chatter. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to say always show messages, I guess. I don't know what this is, this little bar here, so I'm just going to leave it alone. Okay, so we'll just put that right up here. All right, I'm going to try something here, you guys. I am going to... I think I need to go in my stream settings. I might need to... restart this stream here to get this to work. Optimize encoder settings. Let me just switch the cameras here real quick. Okay. I am going to switch to webcam so I can enter in my info. Okay. All right, so let me see if this works. Okay, guys. I may have to okay. I may shut down the stream off of regular OBS, so give me just a second.